But welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Motive Racing channel. We're here for the second race of the night, here for the Sprint Championship in the GT3s. Oh, as we can see the pole sitter Casey there, just spinning it a little bit as we're getting ready to go racing here, coming down towards the old circuit. And just had a bit of a moment there as he was doing a bit of burnouts, trying to get heat into the tyres. I did the same thing actually at this part of the track, coming into Ascari. He was doing it on the exit of the Lesmos. But I did the same thing, binned it into the wall just at this part of the track here, as I was trying to keep temperature in the tyres. That was back when Freeman and Motormuff were doing the comps for the finale of the Endurance GT3s last season. So yeah, it's easy to make mistakes through there, but we've got Casey leading us. He's doing a great lap time in the pole position, in the qualifying should I say, in that session just gone, taking pole position there by quite some way ahead of DDTKU. Corday will be lining up in third place with PS Vids just behind them, followed by Nilsson, who will start this one in P5 ahead of GGJ in P6. BNR Brian will be in 7th ahead of Senna, who will start this one in 8th place, followed by Torde in 9th. Wild Rally will complete the top 10, has somehow managed to end up in front of Edis, despite obviously the rule that the top 3 from the first race don't qualify for the second one. So Edis, Recco and Jazzman will be at the back, obviously. No, sorry, Wild Rally, Recco and Jazzman will all be at the back. Casey with a good chance of maybe nicking a win here if he can get a good first couple of laps to this race. Obviously he was involved in an incident on the first lap in the first race, which kind of compromised his ability to be able to fight at the front for podiums. But he'll be wanting to take this. He'll be wanting to take the money and run, so to speak, with this race, as he's currently got the lead coming out onto the start-finish straight. They're going to go double file here as we're now getting ready to go racing. SVV Casey on the left-hand side of your screen, DDTKU on the right, Corday and PS Biz right behind them. How quickly is Jazzman going to be able to pick his way through the pack? Last time we saw at Barcelona last week, he was pretty much up into the top half by the end of the first lap. But here we are, we're racing now down towards turn 1 as KC has got a very poor start here and it's been absolutely swamped. He looks like he's down to P3 already. DD leads ahead of PS Vids, but PS Vids going for the lead into turn 1. Has PS Vids outbraked himself? Oh, it's Casey, I think he's in the wall. Oh no, we've got a collision coming into turn 1 as DD goes straight on. He locks up in his, he's over the sleeping policeman there, but DD there tucks in third place. PS Vids straight on. Recco's ended up straight on as well. Did Casey drop down to the back? He has. Oh, the pole sitter is down to the back of the pack. Oh, what a shame. What a disaster there for Casey. In the Bentley, it's gone horribly wrong, as Corday is now leading this race ahead of GGJ, followed by Didi running in third place. The pole sitter Didi also was involved in a couple of incidents. World Rally from P10 on the grid is up into P4 already. PS Vids has lost out to World Rally. Recco there running in 6th ahead of Jazzman. Jazzman has made the move on Recco into Lesmo 1, and Recco's gone a bit deep into Lesmo 1 as well. Could be about to get overtaken here maybe, as he's got 2 guys battling behind him. That's Brian and Edis there battling it out over 8th and 9th places, coming out of Lesmo 2. You've got Senna there in the background ahead of Nilsson, who's got Casey now pulling up onto the back of him. Torde's had a nightmare of a first lap. He is down to P13 and he's straight into the gravel there coming through Lesmo 1. Torde's not having the race so far. I think he might have damage on the car. Didi's trying to put the pressure on GGJ and Corday, as GGJ has taken the lead off of Corday here, coming towards the end of the first lap. Down the back straight they come for the first time. Jazzman and Recco are already within 5 seconds of the lead, so those two are flying here from the back of the pack. GGJ and Corday up towards Parabolica. We've got Didi just behind them. You've got Wild Rally trying to make the move here on Didi round the outside of the Parabolica. He might have the slipstream off of Corday, but Corday actually has got a little bit out of shape right in front of Wild Rally. That might force him to have to get out of it a little bit there. Didi's going to be side by side with him down the start finish straight. Wild Rally should have this done, but Didi's going to have the slipstream here off of Corday, as now we can see we might be 3 wide here into turn 1. Here we go, we've got Wild Rally looking to the outside here of Corday. Corday holding the middle lane, as now Wild Rally goes very late on the brakes. Oh my goodness, goes straight on, and GGJ saw him coming in the mirrors and was a little bit offline as they came into the corner. Wild Rally straight on through the top polystyrene blocks, as in the background you've got Brian also doing the same thing. And Edis there coming through. You've got somebody else there, Recco doing the same thing as well. Recco Vantage going straight on through the first chicane. So many drivers are just going ploughing through that first chicane. GGJ still leads ahead of Corday, followed by Didi. You've got Wild Rally there on the back of the ball, with PS Vids has come together there with Jazzman, was it? It was. So PS Vids and Jazzman coming together. Jazzman has now dropped behind Brian. Brian up into P6 and Jazzman just dropping back into the clutches of Edis, but Jazzman here not making some seamless progress through this pack that he would like to be, I'm sure. At this point, you've got Senna here and Casey side by side. Casey's made the move on Senna up into 9th place, coming through Lesmo 2. Recco there ahead of Nilsson, and Torde running a long way behind in 13th place, but it's GGJ leading this race ahead of Corday at the moment. TD's right on the back, right on the back of them at this point, as World Rally is now right in this battle for the podium spots, and obviously the battle for the lead as well. Did we see a spinner there at the back? Oh yes, we did. That was Brian. Brian's lost it coming through Ascari, and the guys are going to have to be really careful here coming through, as Senna, Recco, Nilsson all making their way past. Nilsson there just squeezing through ahead of Brian there. Brian with a big moment has dropped from 6th down to 12th place. As we can see, GGJ still leading this race ahead of Corday. DD right on the back of them right now. As we can see, World Brady is sticking to them as well. Down the start finish straight they come here. It's a complete lap 2 of the race. It's GGJ still leading. Corday got that slipstream, and DD and World Brady have just dropped off over the course of the final sector there. Corday though has got a massive run on GGJ coming down towards turn 1. Here we go, looking to the outside, goes there on the brakes. As Corday there tucks in, and looks as though Corday's gone deep there. GGJ was tucking in, but he can now take the lead back as Corday went absolutely ploughing through the first corner. Rode over the sleeping policeman. Now GGJ's back up into the lead once again. Corday now is going to lose out to DD and World Rally, and those two up into 2nd and 3rd respectively. Bit of a gap up to PS Fizz running in P5, has now got 2 seconds of a gap to Jazzman. Jazzman has not been making the progress through the pack that he would like, but Recco also has really struggled in this second race so far. Edis there running in 7th place, a couple of seconds behind Jazzman. It's got Casey now reeling them in 8th place, but it's been a chaotic second race, I'll tell you that. It's certainly been action-packed, but a bit of thrills and spills and some questionable driving so far. But GGJ still leading ahead of DD with World Brady right on the back of them as well. Corday's dropped off on him a little bit over the course of this lap so far. Jazzman is now eyeing up a move here on PS Fizz, coming down towards Ascari. So he's just a little bit too far away coming into the braking zone right now though. Jazzman, can he get the run here coming out of Ascari? PS Fizz was a little bit cautious there, I have to say. Jazzman might look to the inside into the parabolica. Here we go, he's going to be eyeing up a move, showing him his nose. He's going to now send one down the inside, and Jazzman is going to have that move done, I think, up into P5. Yeah, that is job done there from Jazzman, nicely done. GGJ still leading by half a second ahead of DD, and Royal Bradley still right on the back of him as well. 7 tenths for the second, currently separating the top 3. They've gapped Corday well and truly. Jazzman can now focus on Corday, and he's only got about 3 seconds to the lead, so Jazzman has probably got his act together in the last lap or so, and it's now really coming for them all of a sudden, as DD's been passed there by World Brady. World Brady's up into P2 around the outside of the first chicane, but World Brady's certainly not got that one done yet. DD's not giving this one up, looking around the outside, but the force surely isn't going to have the pace on the Lexus. Side by side coming through the Curva Grande up towards the Della Rosa chicane. Here goes DD now looking down the inside as we come into the braking zone. Is he going to make that move? No, he's hooked that back in actually a bit early on the brakes, and World Rally keeps it around the outside there into P2. That's job done there for World Rally. Corday in the background there has still got Jazzman on the back of him. PS Fizz there in P6 ahead of Edis Allcom. You've got SPV Casey running in the background there, was on pole position for this race. It's not gone to plan at all for him over the course of race 2. Recco there in 9th ahead of Senna, followed by Nilsson. Brian still going with Torde a long way behind in P13. But GGJ still out the front, has got just under a second of a gap here over World Rally. With DD still in hot pursuit. Corday, Jazzman, PS Fizz there in P6. He's got Edis Allcom, a couple of seconds off of them now. SPV Casey still going there in P8. Still trying to come after him if he can. GGJ, World Rally, DD. DD's had a mistake coming through Ascari, and that's given Jazzman P4 and PS Fizz up into P5. Corday is up into... he should be up into P5 actually. All the others are up in position, so that will give World Rally, I think he's just behind... I think he's... no, hold on, it wasn't World Rally, sorry, I do apologise. It was DD, yes, DD making that mistake. He's now down to P7 there behind Edis Allcom. But GGJ keeping ahead of World Brady into the first chicane. World Brady's been all over the back of them now for some time though. Now they haven't got DD on the back of them. maybe that'll be less pressure for World Rally. That'll give him more of a chance to go for the move for the lead, because he hasn't got to worry about who's putting the pressure on him from behind. Saying that though, this man is the one behind them now. Jazzman is within 2 seconds of the two leaders as they're coming into the Delaware chicane. Here we go, World Rally sticking to the inside into the Delaware chicane. He's going to make that move. No, he can't do it. GGJ just holding it on the outside for the time being. Jazzman is now right on the back of them. No, those two slowing each other down as they came to the corner. World Rally looking to try and defend, but Jazzman's making a move into Lesmo 1. World Rally just holding it around the outside for the time being, but Jazzman is really turning it up here as we're coming through into Lesmo 2. Once again, a little bit too far back coming into the corner. World Rally keeps on to that one, but Jazzman is letting him know he's there, and he's letting him know he wants to get on with this, because he's got the leader now just in his sights up the road from World Rally. You can see there the top three now separated by less than a second for sure. Jazzman looking to the outside here on World Rally. World Rally's going to try and squeeze him to the edge of the track and keeps onto it. Nice defensive driving there from World Rally. Quite a wily old head there by the looks of it, and doing what he has to do at the moment to keep Jazzman at bay. Coming down the back straight once again, and it's GGJ, World Rally and Jazzman with absolutely nothing at all separating these three. PS4 a couple of seconds behind there in fourth place. But some very, very tight, action-packed racing here so far in this race. GGJ still got it as Jazzman's now looking to try and get into that slipstream once again here on World Rally. Down the start for this straight, they come again. Big draft there for Jazzman as he pulls out of the slipstream now. He's going to look to try and make this move down the inside in towards turn one. There's Jazzman there. It's going to surely send one here. He does, and he's gone very late on the brakes, and he almost runs into the back of GGJ there, but gets it timed perfectly. And Jazzman up into P2. That was a great move there from Jazzman. He's now got GGJ right in front of him, so Jazzman going for the lead here. Starting from the back, he's made really, really solid progress here. Well, I'd say solid. I mean, it's been about as good as it can get, really. But he could have probably done it quicker if it wasn't for a bit of a moment with PS Vids, as they were both making their way through. But it's now GGJ with Jazzman right on the back of him, and Jazzman getting a great exit out of the Delaware chicane into Lesmo 1 we come. It's going to be the lead here for Jazzman. GGJ doing his best to try and keep it around the outside, and he's really, really fighting this with everything he's got. Jazzman with the inside line for Lesmo 2. If he goes deep, GGJ might be able to get him, but Jazzman a little bit deep, I tell you. But World Rally now trying to get involved in this on the back of GGJ, and World Rally might nick P2 here off of GGJ. GGJ went a little bit hard trying to get back onto the rear of Jazzman side by side, and World Rally is up into P2 there ahead of GGJ. But Jazzman now has the lead here in his second race. The winner, the runaway winner in the first race, now has the ascendancy here in the second race. I tell you what, if he wasn't in this championship right before this race, he definitely is now, with Casey running in P6, Recco down in 7th place. Recco needs to get himself on the podium here. He needs to be finishing on the podium every race if he wants to win this championship with the way that Jazzman's going. But Jazzman can now control things from P1 here in this race. And he's in a very enviable position right now then, as he's nearly opened up a gap of a second over World Rally already. But obviously you've got to factor in that World Rally had to get ahead of GGJ at more or less the same time that Jazzman got ahead of GGJ up into the lead. So GGJ lost 2 positions down to P3. PS Vids there running in 4th place. It is all coming a little way behind them in 5th place. Has got about a 4-second gap back to this man Casey, who's got Recco pretty close on him. These two quite evenly matched for pace. I would be expecting these guys to maybe probably get up to around P3, maybe fight for the podiums at the end. And that's no knocking GGJ, but Casey and Recco are very good standard of driving on PlayStation here on ACC. Jazzman, I think Jazzman is the #1 driver on PlayStation, but these two certainly no slouch, and yeah, I wouldn't be at all surprised to see these two knocking on the door of the podiums by the time we get to the end. They're only about 10 seconds off at the back of GGJ, so keep an eye on them. As long as they don't fight each other too hard, they should be able to do each other a favour. But Recco is looking pretty racy on the back of SBV. Obviously before we were kind of looking at these two as really the championship contenders, but with Jazzman taking so many points off of them, I think Jazzman is now going to be not just a contender, but probably the favourite the way he's going at this point. The number of points he's taken off them, he's surely got to be in it. But we will get those standings up to date after tonight. We will make sure that those are current, or after tonight, maybe tomorrow, but we will get those standings done in the next few days, so we know exactly what the score is going into next week, which will be the penultimate round of the season. So obviously it's only a 5-round season for this GT3 Sprint Championship here on ACC Automotive. So next week we'll be at Zandvoort for round 4, and then Kyle Harvey will round off the season for the final round next week. But right now we're seeing Casey and Recco separated by just 0.6 of a second, and those two not in the position they want to be in at all over this race so far. Jazzman's still leading, it's got a 2-second gap now over Wild Rally. GGJ's falling off at the back of them as well, down in P3. Wild Rally's not falling off at a page in comparison to Jazzman. He is definitely slower than him, but he's keeping him honest at this point. He's not letting Jazzman absolutely ride off into the sunset. So, you know, one little mistake from Jazzman and Wild Rally could be there. You know, if he has a little spin or something, then Wild Rally could definitely be the one in control of this race. I would not say that this race is over just yet, as PS Bids is now right on the back of GGJ as they're coming out of Lesmo 2, and he's definitely within a second. That gap says 1.1. It's certainly less than that now as they're coming on this little straight which leads down towards Ascari. He's all come there running in P5. It's got Casey about just under 5 seconds behind him in P6, followed by Recco, who's running in 7th place. You've got Didi there in 8th. Nielsen still going in 9th place. Corday 10th. Corday running in 11th place, with Brian still going in P12 at the moment. But PS Bids is now within half a second of GGJ. The gap between Casey and Recco's gone up to a second and a half. Recco with damage on that Porsche, but PS Bids is looking to try and make something happen here with GGJ coming into that parabolica here for the 8th time in this race. And so, yeah, currently nothing really separating these two, as PS Bids didn't get the run out of the parabolica he'd have wanted, but he might be able to get the straight line speed here. Aston and McLaren I think are pretty evenly matched down the straights on OTC, to be honest. But PS Bids hasn't really got the legs to challenge GGJ coming into the braking zone at the end of the straight. Gap between Casey and Recco still 1.6, so that's just gradually increasing at this point. And Jazzman's putting away by about a second a lap to World Rally at this point. So that's now up to 3 seconds between those two. But I said before, one little mistake from Jazzman and World Rally's back in this race. You know, it's certainly not over by any stretch of the imagination. But it is looking unlikely that Jazzman is going to make a mistake. And obviously the further ahead he gets, the more likely it is that a mistake isn't going to cost him. As we see, PS Bids now within 0.4 of a second of GGJ coming under the old circuit, but once again, just a little bit too far back to make anything happen just at the moment. Gap up to 3.5 seconds between Jazzman and World Rally at this point. So GGJ and PS Bids coming into parabolica here for the 9th time in the race. Jazzman just continuing to stretch out his advantage here. He's loving life once again here, having a similar race in this second race to what he did in the first one. So GGJ's got PS Bids all over him now, coming down towards the first corner. PS Bids showing his nose to GGJ. Can't quite make it happen there, just a little bit too far back again. GGJ goes a little bit deep into the first part of the chicane, but PS Bids not in a position, not close enough to actually put him under enough pressure to be able to force him into a mistake. Gap between Casey and Recco is staying at around the same, it's 1.6. Both of them though are gaining on Edis, who's running in P5. Both still about 9 seconds after the podium spot as GGJ spun it. GGJ's lost it under big pressure from PS Bids, and unfortunately for GGJ, he's going to lose out most likely here to, he's lost out to Edis. Casey's coming up on the scene, so he'll just hold on ahead of Casey, but Casey and Recco are now going to be looming large in his mirrors pretty soon, and GGJ with a bit of a mistake there, under heavy pressure from PS Vids, and that was all that was needed for PS Vids to put himself in a podium spot. But Edis Allcom isn't too far behind PS Vids at the moment, so I wonder if he might be able to potentially give PS Vids a little fight for this final podium spot. Gap between Jazzman and Bradley still going up at about a second per lap. It's now 4.5 seconds between those two, and Jazzman looking like he's in control at this point. Casey's got the run here on GGJ, and he's going to be definitely getting that closing speed down towards the Parabolica. Is he going to pull out and go for a move down the inside? Don't think so. Oh, I'll tell you what, he's thinking about it. Casey's going to eye it up, but looks like as though GGJ's going to keep it held around the outside there. The preferred line on the Parabolica is the outside, so you don't really want to be taking too many risks in that scenario. And Casey probably knowing that he could potentially be on for a much higher position in this race if he plays his cards right, just tucking in there for the time being. He's now only 7 seconds off of a podium spot, so Casey knows that there is certainly more to be gained in this race than what he is at the moment. As Recco's managed to gain a little bit on Casey since Casey's been on the back of GGJ, so Recco knows this is an opportunity for him as well, but certainly GGJ and Recco not out of the battle for the podiums yet. Edis is right on the back of PS Vids as well in the battle for that podium spot, which is only going to bring these guys into it, because the more they battle, the more it's going to slow them down. But then again, these guys are battling as well. GGJ is obviously battling with Casey, and you've got Recco now closing in on that battle. But Recco actually lost a bit of time to GGJ and Casey coming through the first sector. They went up from 1.5 to 1.7 despite that battle going on between them. Gap up to over 6 seconds between Jazzman and Wild Rally at this point. And Brian is in the pits. So I don't know what's gone on there with him, but he has come in for some damage repairs by the looks of it on the front of that Aston. That's going to be a frustrating one for him for sure. Yeah, he's going to be quite annoyed with that, I would imagine. Edis Allcom though has got the run here on PS Vids, looking to the inside into Parabolica. Once again, PS Vids has got the measure of him though. Okay, GGJ just got a little bit loose coming through Parabolica. And the Casey's surely going to make this move now. Recco really has gained on them over the course of this lap. It looks like that gap is not much over a second between Casey and Recco. It's under a second now. Casey now looking to the outside. He's lost time while being stuck behind GGJ, but GGJ defending to the inside. Here we go. Casey now is going to have to do this one round the long way. He gets onto the grass a little bit. Oh, he cuts back to the inside. Has he gone deep? I think he has. He has. He's gone deep. He's gone deep. He's going to have to give that place back there to GGJ. But GGJ's now got Recco all over him. Now, Casey might lose out to Recco because he's going to have to let him by. He has let GGJ past. I think he's managed to keep enough momentum to stay ahead of Recco, but he's left himself really vulnerable here to Recco. Recco's now going to be, I'm sure, trying to distract Casey a little bit here. And he's looking to the inside, trying to put him off ever so slightly, but Casey holding firm at the moment and not getting too overcome by that one. Rides over the curb there, does Casey, quite violently, but into Lesmo 1. And GGJ there's got that held on to just about, survives that one. And it's still GGJ P5, Recco behind these guys. But Casey 6th and Recco 7th at the moment. Edis Allcom is still absolutely throwing the kitchen sink here at PS Vids, but he can't seem to find a way through. He's been on the back of him now for quite a few laps and just hasn't been able to find a gap, hasn't been able to take an opportunity here. Recco is now looking around the outside of Casey into Ascari. Can he make this move here? I'll tell you what, he's going to try and stick it around the outside. Casey just limits his space and squeezes him out there. But I thought Recco, at that point, it looked like he was really going for one there. Oh, and GGJ's lost it, coming out of Ascari. And he's gone on the grass there. He's lost out to both Casey and Recco Vantage. He might lose out to Didi as well. Didi's going to get the run on him. He's going to get a massive run on him coming down towards Parabolica. GGJ just holds on there for P7 as they came into the corner, but he's really struggling at this point. Maybe the tyres possibly just inexperienced on ACC. GGJ had a really impressive race last week at Barcelona. Managed to come third in his debut race. It was a spectacular performance from him. So he's really had a strong introduction, but Obviously, inexperience can come back to bite you when you least expect it, when you think you've got to grips with something, and then you realise, you know, you are still relatively a newcomer. As Reco's lost a little bit of time to Casey over this lap or so. He's now almost a second separating those two. So now that they're well clear of GGJ, Casey now maximising his pace, and he's just opening up a bit of space between himself and Reco. But both of them are still closing in on Edis Allcom. I think they're quite a long way behind PS Bids at this point. They're running in P3. PS Bids has gapped Edis Allcom massively over the last lap or so. That's now 7 seconds separating those two. So I don't know what happened to Edis Allcom, but yeah, he is nowhere now. So PS Bids seems to have P3 in the bag. Edis Allcom will have Casey closing up onto him over the next few laps, but will Casey get there in time? That is the question. Edie is right at the back of GGJ at the moment, but hasn't been able to get ahead of him. Or has he? He has actually. He is ahead of him. You can see there on the timing board. It hasn't updated. It has now. But Didi is up into P7, so he must have made that move coming to the middle sector. I don't know if GGJ made a mistake or if Didi just made the move on him, but nonetheless, Didi TKU is up into 7th place. Also, just a quick update, we did lose Senna quite early on in this second race, unfortunately, due to a retirement. So down to 12 here for this one, but we've still got 5 minutes left in this race. Still, I think 3 or 4 more laps, depending on when Jazzman crosses the line. I reckon it's going to be 3 laps after this, so we're on the 4th to last lap here of this race, 3.5 to go. PS Bids is closing on World Rally here. You know, PS Bids is on a mission here. He is really getting it down, and maybe might stand a chance of nabbing P2 here, as we saw World Rally a little bit wide there coming out of Lesmo 1. Oh, World Rally really wide onto the gravel there out of Lesmo 2. PS Bids is going to pick him off here easily as they come down the back straight, which leads down towards Ascari, and that's job done there for PS Bids, up into 2nd place. Can World Rally come back at him though over the last couple of laps? Jazzman is coming into the Parabolica, so we are going to have 3 more laps here in this race. So there's ample time for World Rally to get himself back in this fight. So still game on for 2nd place as GGJ has just dropped off of Didi a little bit. Gap's now pretty much a second, just under between those two. So the gap 20 seconds now between Jazzman and PS Vids. That is only going up. PS Vids has fallen back into the clutches of World Rally. Edis Allcom there running in 4th place. It's got Casey really reeling him in as well. Only 2 seconds now separating Edis and Casey. You've got Reco a couple of seconds behind Casey at this point. GGJ is still on the back of Didi as those two battered it out over 7th and 8th places. But PS Vids and World Rally still running pretty close into the De La Rocha chicane. Jazzman about to start the penultimate lap. PS Vids there running in 2nd place, having got the move done on World Rally. World Rally's still in the back of him, still poised to maybe have another crack at him, maybe. Edis Allcom P4, Casey's still gaining on him a little bit by bit. Gap down to 1.9, it's under 2 seconds between Edis and Casey, but as Casey left it a little bit late, bit of a slide there as he comes to Ascari. Tell you what, he was really counter-steering that, wasn't he? Reco there in P6. GGJ's dropped off at the back of Didi. That gap's now over a second, but Didi's not massively quicker than him. He's a couple of tenths quicker over that last lap though. While Ruddy's still managing to put the pressure on PS Vids for now. GGJ just over a second behind Didi at this point. Jazzman has got over a 22-second lead here in this race over PS Vids. He didn't even start at the front this time. Took the lead just before the halfway mark for Jazzman. So he has completely got up and run off. PS Vids has now gapped World Rally by just over a second. Usually he's got the gap up just under a second to Didi, so he's brought it back a little bit through the final sector. Be interesting to see if GGJ can get back onto Didi as he's gone deep coming to the first chicane. Now that's not going to be how he will do it, and he's just lost a little bit more to him there. PS Vids has extended the gap to 1.4 between himself and World Rally. He's gone wide! Oh, PS Vids has gone off onto the gravel coming through Lesmo 1! And World Rally's now going to be right on the back of him. For the final lap and a half of this race, the battle for P2 is back on again. This is the part of the track where the Lexus is going to be quick. That's the part of the track where you'd expect PS Vids to be strong compared to the Lexus. But World Rally's now got a great chance of maybe giving PS Vids a bit of a headache on this final lap of the race. Potentially, he might even be able to get ahead of him down the straight, but World Rally back in that slipstream again. Jazzman is just starting the final lap now. This is the battle for P2 and 3 as they're coming down towards the Parabolica. These two 7 seconds clear of Edis, who's running in 4th place. Casey on the, well, not really on the back of Edis. He's not gaining quickly enough. He's going to get it there a little bit too late, I think, on the back of Edis. I think it's probably going to be P5 for him unless Edis makes a mistake on this final lap. Recco there running in 6th place, not too far behind Casey. Bit of a gap back to Didi, who's managed to put 2 seconds between himself and GGJ. You've got Torde still going in 9th place. He's coming under the old circuit. He's a long way back off of those guys right now. He has got somebody just putting a lap on him. Or in fact, no, he's battling with somebody who is a lap behind him. So Torde's a lap ahead of Brian, and Brian is battling in 4th position at the moment. Nilsson there is 5 seconds behind Brian in P11, and Corday still going in P12. He had a good race in the first race, but this one not been anything like it. World Rally though has dropped a little bit off of PS Vids. PS Vids seems to have the measure of him as he's managed to pull out almost 3 seconds there to PS Vids. As obviously had the rubber to green over the last lap or so. World Rally's made a mistake or two as he's gone wide, and World Rally has got a drive through. Oh no, that's horrible to see. That is a massive shame, because he was in a really good position there. He was on for a podium. He's not even going to be able to serve that drive-through because it's the last lap. So he'll get a massive penalty for not serving that. That is really unfortunate there for World Rally. He's going to have Edis picking him off, but Edis will be on the podium here after everything tonight. Jazzman though, we better jump to him because he's coming out of the Parabolic up towards the line. It's going to be 2 wins from 2 tonight for Jazzman. 4 from 4 in the GT3 Sprint Championship so far this season. He is in impeccable form in this Sunday Sprint Series, and once again stamping down his credentials and proving and pretty much cementing the fact that he is the best driver on PlayStation at the moment. Jazzman with an emphatic win. PS Vids is going to come around Parabolica. It's going to be a 2nd place for him as he got the move done on World Rally with a few laps left to go. A really impressive drive from PS Vids, to be fair. Very impressed with him as he comes over the line to take a 2nd place here in this one. World Rally is coming up towards the line. It's going to be 3rd place for him on the podium for that one. World Rally is going to take 4th, obviously. Edis will take P3, sorry. So World Rally 4th in the end. Recco takes 5th place. Casey is out of fuel. He's lost out to Didi. He's lost out to... Oh my god. Did he? No, he didn't. He held on from Didi. He lost out to GGJ. So GGJ takes P6. Casey 7th in the end. Didi takes 8th. Torde will come out around the Parabolica here. It's going to be 9th place for Torde in this race, as he's a lap ahead of BNR Brian. In fact, he's not anymore because Brian's unlapped himself. So Brian comes over to take P10. Torde nearly a lap ahead of him there in 9th. Nilsson will be the last driver to cross the line here. And that is that then. That is your 13-man order. Senna retired early on. So Jazzman taking him in ahead of PS Vids, with Edis Allcom completing the podium. Great night of racing there, guys. We'll try and get the championship standings updated so you can have more of an idea of what's going on going into the final 2 rounds of the season. I'd be very surprised if Jazzman isn't at least on the back of Recco Vantage going into next week. Casey, with not a great week for him in terms of the points, he'll be a little way behind Recco now. But guys, I want to thank everybody who joined us throughout the stream. For the drivers, please do share with your friends, family members and associates, and smash the like button, subscribe, and make sure you join us at www.motiveracing.com. If you're watching this for the first time, then definitely get involved in the action there. But yeah, thanks everybody once again. We'll see you very soon. Join us tomorrow night for the Clio Cup on Project Cars 2, where we will be taking on the penultimate round of the season for that series. Obviously a great championship battle in the pipeline there between Liveblade, WSRCJ and John Boy. So that one looking very tight indeed. Tomorrow we'll be at the Red Bull National for that one. Following on from that, we'll be back on ACC for the GT3 Endurance League on the PS4. That will be at 7 PM BST. We'll be at Imola for that one. That's also the penultimate week of the season for that one. It was the penultimate week all round next week, so we're coming into the crunch time for the season. Obviously on Thursday we'll have the touring cars back on at 8:30 PM BST. We'll be at Silverstone International for that one, so that's the layout which goes straight from the loop into Chapel Curve onto the Hangar Straight. You skip out the sort of the national part of the track. Then on Friday night we're back for the GT5 Genettas. We'll be at Sonoma National for that one at 9 PM BST. Following that we'll be back on ACC again for the Sprint Championship, and next week we'll be at Zandvoort for the penultimate round. So tune in for that. Also tune in for the rest of our series over the week, guys. We'll see you very soon. Take it easy everybody, and good night.